Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. I'm joined, as always, by my friend Gryfflet. It's been a tense time, as, of course, we've been here in the Rohirrim settlement now for a week and just enduring siege after siege. They just keep coming, you know, we're trying to help our friends the Rohirrim, but it's been difficult under the circumstances. The deer of the Great Rivers are just too aggressive. Oh, phew. Oh, boy. So, Gryfflet has been hard put to it to defend this camp, but he's managed it. I have to say, with fairly little help from the Rohirrim, who don't seem to really get the message about who is the real enemy here in the Great River. But anyway, so they wanted help defending against the Orcs, which seems comparatively easy, frankly. So I think we're gonna help them do that. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I was away for the goodness. More than 1 week? I can't even remember how many weeks I've been away. But I've been away for a little while, and it's good to be back. We're gonna. I know, right? You and I mean, when you're afraid of orcs, and just like overlooking like the real threat, nobody really seems to be concerned. And of course, there's Winmar, still moping by the river, thoroughly under the enchantment of that elf warrior. Now, see, this, of course, it shows you, right? It shows you an element of this. Think about Elvish enchantment when they talk about Elvish enchantment. A large part, as you can see, and you can see this in Tolkien's stories too, but I think that the game is doing a really good sort of version of that. Winmar's not acting normal, right? I mean, okay, yes, like he saw a cute girl and he has a crush, right? Like many of us have been there. However, this is more than that. Right, you know, his normal routines have been totally disrupted. He's neglecting his duties. You know, he's just sitting over, like orcs are attacking the camp, and he's just sitting. He came here, right, because of the orcs, and now he's just sitting over there, ignoring them. But this is a kind of activity that we see, right? I mean, it's a known thing when you are completely enchanted, right, and sort of transfixed by, you know, the loveliness of the elves. But the point, of course, is, I mean, it's quite obvious that Noriel, what's her name? I forget her name. Is not even into him at all, right? Has given him absolutely zero encouragement, and obviously, therefore, is not the source of the enchantment. The enchantment is not something that has been placed upon him by the elves, right? And the humans talk like that. Like if you go near the elf woods, they'll lay an enchantment on you, right? As if it's their fault. But this is one of the things, again, I think the game is being really, you know, the writers are being really sensitive here in their reading of Tolkien, because it's quite clear that that's not how it works, right? The humans might think that it's the elves laying spells upon them, but it's not the elves laying spells upon them, right? It is just part of the nature of the interaction of elves and mortals, right? It's one of the reasons why it's perilous to enter fairy, because you don't know how it's gonna affect you. You don't know how it's gonna you will be changed or moved by it, and it's not the elves' fault. In a sense, just like I continue to maintain, it's not the fault of the Silmarils that they cause all the trouble that they cause, right? To be beautiful, to be desirable. It's not your fault if you're beautiful or desirable, right? I've never had that problem myself, but you know, I mean, it's, I'm trying to exonerate myself here, but I mean, it's not the fault of that which is beautiful, right? For it to be desirable and to have this effect. And when you're talking about elves and mortals, it can be quite a transformational effect. So, anyway, yeah, JJ, it is like blaming a fire for burning you in some ways, right? Though, again, the difference, though, JJ, is that in a sense, it's still the fire doing something, right? It's the fire isn't willful in what it's done. But I mean, I agree with you in that heat is a natural property of flames, right? And it can't stop being hot, right? Or it would cease to be a flame. Just as similarly, you know, fairy can't help being beautiful, or it would cease to be fairy. Yes. So that's I agree that that's true in that sense. But I don't know. It's more like, I guess, thinking of flames, JJ. It's more like moths, right? It's not the fire's fault that moths fly into an open flame, right? Whether you say it's the fire's fault for being hot enough to burn the moth, right, is kind of up to you. But yeah, again, it's just sort of the way it is. But again, it's about how others react to it, right? Anyway, okay. Yeah. So, hi everybody. Sorry. So it's hard to start in the middle of action like that, but I'm glad we've experienced a brief lull in the onslaught of the deer here. Never have I seen venison so uppity as in the Great River. But Rothal, quick, let's see if we can attack the orcs while they're, or fight off the orcs while there is this fortunate lull in the onslaught of the deer. I'm ready. So prepared. Gussie, it was in self-defense. I'm telling you.
For an orc attack
Gryfflet's minding his own business.
More dire than the earlier encounter upon the hill. A mere taste of what is to come.
A mere taste of what is to come. Yeah, and a mere nothing compared to the onslaught of the venison. So, hi Gussie, good to see you. And it's not, seriously, it's not my fault. It's just, you saw he was inside the defenses. He's just trying to fend them off. Oh, okay, they're coming any moment. All right, yeah, stupor. That's a good word for Winmar right now. Yeah, Winmar, up and at him. Oh, hey, he's standing. That's a good sign. Hey, Winmar. I know. Enchantment. Moth, flame, all that. We were just talking about you, sort of. Hey. Hey, look, he's responding. That's good. For the last time, you great oaf. Orcs are coming for us, and the deer might attack again at any moment. Stand and fight. Yeah, Winmar, come on. It's time to let her go. But this all seems so wrong. What, fighting orcs? Defending your camp from the deer? How? Why did this happen? Have you ever felt this backwards sense that your life was fine until you met someone you could not have, then nothing would ever be as it should again? Well, not exactly in the same way. I suppose I must defend myself and my people. So I'm looking at your sword hilt. That's very nice. You will meet your death. Yeah. Yeah, shake off such sobering thoughts and let's go fight orcs. Yeah. Yeah, I've already fought off all the deer single-handedly. How hard could the orcs be? Oh, here they come. All right, hey, here, I'm going to get a little positional advantage there. Yeah. See, look, these orcs are weenies. Okay. Oh. All right. Hey, more. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Can I do a lore question? Let me do a set of lore questions, actually. So, for those of you who are kind of new to this broadcast and have no idea what's going on, you're not alone. Nobody really has any idea what's going on here, but least of all me. However, my name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor. I believe I failed to introduce myself in the heat of combat at the beginning, and this is, of course, my friend Gryfflet, the burglar. And I am the Tolkien Professor, and I like to talk about Tolkien lore and answer lore questions. So I have a set of lore questions. Oh, are we done? Is that it? Oh. So you guys were fighting from the... Rothal, now you're staring off into the middle distance? What is going on here? Do I think that was all of them? No, there's still deer all over these hills. Okay. You wonder who leads this rabble. Does Winmar look tired? Maybe he's not been sleeping well lately. Oh! Oh, whoa! That was unexpected. Oh! Oh, the twist! Norio has slain the attacker. Oh, no, is she saying die to Winmar? Oh, you came to help us. Oh, man. She can heal him of his wound? Oh, no, he's poisoned. Oh, the drama. I gotta stand on a stool to watch this. And yet I am happy. Oh, dear. Yeah, this is your fault. You allowed yourself to be seen. And see, now she's taking responsibility for this. Let's see. Norio, what do you think? He's poisoned. You're coming to make amends for your coldness? I don't know, man. If only I'd been one moment sooner. Yeah, how did that enormous wonking orc sneak through the camp like that? Oh, there's nothing you can do. Oh, dear, poor Winmar. We're going to say our goodbyes. Oh, dear, this is not good. Look, he's got no hand. How did I never notice he had no hand? I can't even believe that. Okay. Rothoff, where's... Right. Oh, there's Kiriana. Let's see. Where's Norio? Winmar? Did she take him off to Ferry? Which is just up the road, actually. Yeah, so Rothoff, was there a lake with like an island on it and a rock on the island and a palace underneath the rock? Because I've heard that's a thing. And it sometimes happens to like grievously wounded mortals that they're taken away into that place, or at least that's what they say happened to Arthur.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Winmar will be missed. He's just gone. There's like no trace. The elves bore his body away, and the woman Norio stayed with him to the last. When they carried him off to his burial site, I don't know how to describe it. Well, why did I miss it? Oh, come on. I can't believe that happened off stage. That was kind of lovely. Oh, well. Wait, what is this? Oh, shoulder. Okay. Yeah, no, we're good. Wow, okay.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Alas for Winmar. The elves bore his body away after the fight and made him a grave between here and Stangard. He will rest in both lands, the land of his home and the land of his heart. Interesting. Pay your respects. Of course, yeah. Find him a short distance south of here. Your help will not be forgotten, nor will we forget our good leader on this fruitless expedition. Well, I wouldn't say fruitless entirely. Alright, probably Norio is at the gravesite, right? Feeling bad about dissing him now. Okay. So I was going to answer some lore questions, which I'm totally still going to do, but I wanted to, let's see if we can, oh, it's a doe. Hang on. Might have to stealth in order to get past her. I think I can flank her. There's another one up there. Oh, phew, it's only a bear. Okay, that could have been worse. Alright. Can't wait till I'm out of these woods. Maybe there'll be fewer deer in the plains. Oh, there's another one. Oh, it's a goat. Oh, what a relief. Hang on, I missed it. Where did it go? I'm so busy dodging the animals. Seriously? Oh, hey, there she is. Where's the grave? Hey, so, Norio, I'm looking for the grave. I didn't see it. Where'd it go? They raise a mound? Maybe the elves don't raise a mound. But I'm really keen to look at your treatment of Elvish burial practices, Norio. Can you show me? Because that's really an item of mystery, actually. There are very few... There's some really interesting stuff about Elvish burial practices. Haven't we? I think we've talked about this at some point or other. One of my problems, of course, as like in my job as professional online Tolkien professor and engaging in Tolkien conversations like this several times a week, every week, is that I forget like where I've talked about what, with whom. So we might have already had this conversation, but burial practices, right? Noriel, where did you bury him?
Megavonen.
You have lived many years, but in all your years I have failed to acquire wisdom. Well, that's harsh. I thought it would be best to push this fool mortal away, but in truth I felt it too. Their lives are but a heartbeat of my own. Even if they survive all the battles in the world, I wasted that heartbeat. How keenly I feel it. Oh, man. Oh, that's it? Seriously? This is his gravestone. I would never even have seen that. What did she put on it? Is that an... what is that? Is that an Eleanor? Looks like a flower carved onto it. Huh. How did, like green stuff grow over it already? Did they dye it? Is they used gravestone? Huh. There's not even any disturbed earth. Well, that's elves for you. Morning fallen friend. That's a great progress bar. Morning fallen friend. 26%, 27%. Yeah, it looks like a flower to me too. I don't think it's a leaf. Natasha. I really don't. Yeah, Phil, exactly. Phil is remembering the line about the regular elvish trick. So the business with elvish burial practices, right? There only are very few examples that we get about what elves do with their dead. And one of the most interesting, that is, so we know a couple examples. Most notably Fingolfin, right, whose body is taken up and they make a sort of a cairn for him up in the mountains, right? Turgon does, after the eagles bring his body to them. But the most tantalizing and interesting line is the one that Phil was just quoting about the regular elvish trick. When remember, they think the orcs in the pass. So when Frodo and Sam are in the pass of, in the pass of Cirith Ungol, and Frodo is apparently dead, right? And Sam leaves him there. You'll remember that they of course, the orcs don't know what hobbits are, and so they think they're elves. Obviously, they're undersized, right? But they look elvish. They're not. They're trying to figure out what they are, and it's Shagrat. I can't remember if it's Shagrat or Gorbag, but one of the two of them talks about how Frodo's companion, right, the dead one's companion, left his body lying on the path, and he calls it a regular elvish trick, right? He seems to even take that as evidence to sort of help to prove that they are elves, which suggests that at least in the perception of the orcs, the elves just leave their dead lying around. Or will do, like, of course, what Sam did, which is sort of compose Frodo's body, but left him. And it wouldn't be totally shocking. If elves did that, right? Because, of course, the body, or the hroa, to use the elvish term, there's the hroa and the fea, which is the body and the spirit. The fea is the spirit. The hroa is sort of not that important, because the fea, when an elf dies, the fea goes to the halls of Mandos and eventually can get a new hroa. I mean, like, bodies are recyclable from an elvish perspective, right? It's the fea that matters, and the fea is not leaving Arda anyway, so it just means it's going to go to the halls of waiting for a while, but it won't be. So, the whole, like, let's make a big deal about the body and the burial of the body, and especially anything like embalming or any kind of, like, preservation of the body, certainly is not something that elves would do, because they don't care about that. Anyway, so that's why I was particularly interested in how they were going to depict elvish burial practices. So the fact that they've buried him in the ground with a tombstone, I don't know. I don't think we have any precedent for that. Yeah, I don't think we have any precedent for that at all. So that's interesting. Interesting that they made that particular choice. Of course, the Rohirrim would have buried him in a mound. So it's not surprising that they had Noriel and the elves bury him in a non-Rohirric fashion, right? But this is a strange choice. It's a strange choice. It's not that I think they're necessarily wrong. And certainly in this environment where there are orcs prowling around, you wouldn't just necessarily leave the body lying around. Or maybe they were trying to give him a pseudo-human burial, right? Because he's mortal, right? He wasn't one of them, and so they were treating his body differently than they normally would, and kind of like their understanding of what mortals do to the bodies of the dead. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Phil was just saying the same thing. Maybe this is how elves think humans want to be buried. Yeah, possibly. Parallel between the rebirth of the elves and the Minbari Druids' fire in Babylon 5. Yeah, it's kind of different. I mean, I agree with Boomful. We don't have much evidence that it's true of the Minbari. And of course, it's the system, that kind of rebirth in your descendants is a system that Tolkien had originally suggested for the what he had suggested for the elves way back in the old days, but he rejected that eventually. Yeah. No, it's certainly true that JMS is a huge Tolkien fan, and yes, he has said publicly that he would love to be the showrunner for the Amazon series. And I would totally team up with him. I think he'd be great to work with. I think he and I could do really good work together. Be happy to advise him. Reach out, JMS. That's it. We'll join together and appeal to Amazon. Okay, let's see. Yeah, JJ's wondering how many times orcs have encountered dead elves other than on the battlefield, where there may be extenuating circumstances. Well, I've got to think, JJ, that they have, because otherwise, I mean, even the orcs would be able to tease out the fact that, like, dead people lying on the battlefield is not is not like a regular elvish trick. It would be an irregular trick of pretty much everybody, to leave your dead on the battlefield. So I have to think that they're sort of thinking of more than that. But as far as how many times can they have encountered the bodies of dead elves, no idea. It's a really good question. That there's at least sort of orcish traditions about this, right? Anyway. JJ, no, Amazon still has not still waiting for my phone call. I'm available. Okay, I'm not actually available, but I'd make an exception if the Amazon people call. Yeah, okay, let's see. You should have been more welcoming to these men and not so cold. Well, I understand how you might think that. Hopefully I will not be so unyielding in the future. Oh, how many times are you planning to do this? The Rohirrim will never welcome the elves of Lorien. You sure about that? But I would like to help them from afar nonetheless. Okay, so now the attitude has changed. I like that. Will you go to them, Gryfflet, and see what need drove the folk so near the place they feared? Sure. You wish to find ways to help these folk whilst they linger at our borders. Yeah, well, that's nice. I like that. Where should I go, Norio?
Might you spare a moment of your
Go to
time?
Stangard. Well, I was headed there anyway. The elves will hold this border for them and ensure that they receive gifts from the forest when they find themselves hungry or ill-equipped. Okay. As for me, I will remain here and contemplate this unlooked-for loss. I would not act as I did to someone like Winmar on principle. Oh, it is kind of sad. But okay, we'll I'll head to Stangard then. How about that? Okay. All right. Oops, I am going the wrong way. Ah, goats. Nice, friendly goats. And nice, non-threatening looking rockworms. Oh. Gryfflet feels so much more at ease already. Okay, anyway, so let me get to my lore questions. At least let me introduce them. I might not get a chance to answer them all before I get to Stangard, but hang on a second. I have my questions on my phone here. Okay, all right. So I have 3 related questions, all about the sort of, well, I was about to say the geography. Let's say the mythogeography of Arda. First question was, I'll start with Joego? Not sure how to pronounce that. Nor if the underscore is meant to be pronounced as well. Really not sure about that. What do I think Tolkien meant when he said that Middle-earth is our Earth in a different stage of imagination? First question. And then related questions. In the Ambar Kanta, are the lands of the sun in the Far East supposed to be the Americas? And Tolaresia is meant to be England, right? So would that island have the same climate as the Shire? Okay. All good and, as I say, relatively related questions. A ruin. Let's see. Who made this? It's not Elvish. That's obvious. But nor is it Dúnedain. I don't see a single star anywhere. Wait, are there runes on that? Hang on. Stealth yourself, Gryfflet. Let's look at this. Yes, there are. No, they're not. They're just cracks. I thought they were runes. No, they're not runes. Okay, now that I look at them more closely, which is why I did. What a totally nondescript ruin. Northern outpost of Gondor? And yet, why so plain? Not a single Númenórean marking. But obviously not Elvish. I mean, these are clearly human ruins. Obviously. And look at the Kuthstone. Look at the statue there. Really is amazing how that just looms over this whole area. That's really neat. And of course, I love how that sort of fits, right? The whole story of Cirion the Steward and Eorl the Young looms over this whole region. I mean, there's nothing about this whole area in Celebrant. Like the only role that this region pretty much ever played in the history of Middle-earth. Sorry, just glancing about for more ruins, just in case here. I mean, it's the story of Cirion and Eorl is really it. Look at how friendly these goats are. So nice. There are certain deer that could really learn a lesson from them. So I really like how they have the statue looming over everybody. JJ is wondering if the ruins could be from one of the Easterling incursions or a pre-Dúnedain people. It's possible. I mean, often ancient ruins of the pre-Dúnedain people that we've seen have tended to be of the Barrow Downs type, right? Standing stones and sort of Stone Age type things. But it's possible. It's possible. Modler, I don't think that the Wainriders settled this far west. I don't think so. But it certainly is possible that it's a pre-Dúnedain structure. Who, though? I mean, you know, just from a lost people, conceivably. Well, we'll see what else we can find in this area. Okay. Uh-oh, it's Nonna. Hi, Nonna. What do you have in the sack? Do I want to know, Nonna, what's in the sack? Are you being polite?
I am not welcome here. Ah, I care not.
You don't care if you're welcome here? Yeah. Hi, Afik. Are you,
Who is this woman? And why does she carry a sword of my people?
It's a long story. I'm a long way from home and in the company of a Dunlending warrior witch. Well, that's not very friendly. His heavy-lidded gaze is suspicious. What is he? Are his pupils dilated? Can I... What? No. This outpost may be beyond the borders of Rohan, but the law of King Theoden holds... Theoden King, right, of course. And I cannot allow this warrior witch to pass unchallenged. Take that Rohirric sword from her and present it to Horn atop Stangard and see what he thinks. Ah, Horn. He is young, but in matters of swordcraft and history he is unrivaled. If he believes this woman is no threat, I will allow her to enter. Otherwise, she must remain outside the walls. And there, Nonna. Can I borrow your sword?
I will let you carry the sword.
That's good.
But do not let any of these men touch it.
I won't let them touch it. Okay, that could get difficult. But this weapon may be the result of their swordcraft, but it is theirs no longer. It is the sword of my brother Wadu, and the chain of its heritage has been severed and made anew. Oh, so its heritage was broken and it's been reforged? Is that, Nonna, what you're trying to say? Wadu's ghost wields it now? Okay. All right. Take it from this bag of my belongings. So that's what the sack is. That's good. Bring it to this man Horn atop the village, but heed my words. Okay. All right. I'm heeding. Well, that's an unexpectedly large knapsack you're carrying there, Nonna. Ooh. Hang on. An unusual opportunity. Okay. All right. We saw that up close because it was... I saw it when it was huge in the dream. Right? Okay. All right. Carrying the sword. Hi, Mr. What's your name? Saber? So you sound French, which you're probably totally not. But, hi, Mr. Stablemaster. Always like
Welcome,
to
my
introduce
friend.
myself. Look at all the places in the Great River I've not been. Where else can I go from here? Lots of places. Yeah, oh, Moria, that's handy. And other places in Rohan I haven't been yet. Okay, good to know. And South Bree, always handy. Okay. Ooh, a rumor monger. Boy, you look unpleasant. What are you, wall propping? Sam would not approve. What are you doing? Carving your initials in? No, you're drilling nails into this perfectly unoffending post. Well, you're a busy man. Off I go. Okay. All right. Those walls won't prop themselves. I know. It's a good thing he's holding that up. The thing would probably have tumbled down already if he hadn't been there. Yeah, so of course, you guys, I noticed that, my carrying Nona's sword progress meter isn't going down, so I'm not in a rush, which is nice. Okay, now, it's interesting that we have tents here. So this city is walled with a palisade, which, is fine, like if they don't want to build stone walls, but really interesting that they have tents. I mean, it's obviously a permanent town, and we have large structures, wooden structures all. A really great introduction to Rohirric architecture, though. The horses on the pillars are really nice. The rearing horses, I like it. I love the carving work up on the beams. See, this is not only, permanent, like it's meant to be around for a while, but it's quite lovely. quite lovely. Okay, Gryfflet. Are those... Yeah. Torch sconces. These are street lamps. Look how lovely that is. Well, they do a lot of great woodwork, these Rohirrim. And... a knocker. Huh. Cool. What else do we have? A forge, right? With all more lovely Rohirric beams. Not the really carved ones, though, but it would probably get all sooty and stuff. Can't blame you. Let's see. I like we've got the running horse, right? As well as the rearing horse up there with a little flower box in between. Oh, that's just darling up there. I like that a lot. Ah, and a nice little banner. Yeah. That's very good. But you can't touch this sword, expert jeweler. Don't think it. We've got some skins. Hopefully deer skins. A nice big oven, right? A little bread baking hatch over here. Wow, you are stirring so methodically. Yeah. Don't overstir that. That's good. Ooh, the scholars area. Look at this. Hang on, first of all, what the heck? This is a rock. That's a big rock. Okay, so is this carved on the rock or painted on the rock? Hang on. It's painted. Okay, it's not carved. All right, so what do we have here? We have a dude on big horse. Dude on big horse with, what is it? A cup in his hand? A horn? Maybe some kind of weapon. Boy, this is, okay. This is a dog? I think this is a dog. Maybe a hound. So this looks like a woman here. This looks like a dress. So I'm thinking this is a home. So this is a painting of a warrior returning home. There's his wife, and that looks like a child. Several children, probably. And a house, which is obviously a Rohirric house. You see the little, what looked like probably horse heads up at the beam. And yes, it's an 8-legged horse, but I assume that means there's another horse behind it. Gnagarwina, I doubt it's actually an 8-legged horse. You'd think if there's one thing they could draw, it would be horses. And anyway, look at that perfectly normal 4-legged horse. And if you're thinking it's a 5-legged horse, that's its tail, obviously. So, okay. So this dude with the club hand or whatever is in his hand is down here. So this is... The warrior returns to hearth and home. What is going on up there? Bodies? That looks like a corpse. Out in the field? Is it the battle he's left behind? He's left the battle and left the battle and his enemies slain on the field, surrounded by the, their discarded and broken weapons and shields, and he's returning victorious to his family? That's my reading of that top one. I don't know what this is. Sorry, Okay. I don't know what this is. This looks like a pole? Tree? Maybe it's a tree. Maybe it's just a tree. Doesn't have a top. But, maybe it's cut off by the frame. He has voided the battle, Ethelad. Yeah, he voided. But I think he voided after... I think he's victorious, right? But then down here... he's... It's the same dude? I think it's the same dude. At least the posture of his arm is the same, right? He's still doing that thing with, what, his fist? A cup? A horn? Doesn't look like a weapon. Yeah. What are these down here? A person swimming with what? Somebody riding on their back? What is that? I have no idea. What is that, and why is it under the belly of the horse? See, this simply looks like the sort of grand me and my horse sort of tableau here, right? What is that? Just riding over women and children? That's kind of what I was trying to avoid, Boople. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. My apologies there. No, that isn't what's happening down there. Could be trampled foes. What's underneath the legs of the eight-legged horse? Serpent? Why is that tree hanging someone? I don't think it is it? Oh, come on, Jesse. You're no fun. Because, see, here's the thing. Let's not forget where we are. Backing up, literally backing up from this for a second, right? We have this rock, this painted rock. The style of the paintings on this rock are obviously different from any of the other artwork that we see around it. This is not a piece of art of the Rohirrim, right? At least not the modern Rohirrim. This is obviously an ancient thing. And, of course, it's in this little scholar's tent. The scholars only get a tent, really more of a pavilion, actually. The scholar's pavilion, right? But it's obviously important. It's placed very prominently and treated almost like a shrine. Almost. Right? Oh, hang on, there's more of it under the table, isn't there? Just the border, I guess. Okay. Anyway, sorry, when I was seeing it from way back here, I thought I could see more picture down there. This looks like, therefore, something that the Rohirric scholars themselves are studying. Something from the ancient past. I wonder where it was found. I wonder why it's in Stangard. Was it found around here? That seems unlikely. Yeah. So, see, Jesse and several others are continuing to talk about Odin. Well, okay. No, the point is, I'm looking at it in its frame, right? What I'm trying to do here is think about, this is meant for study by Rohirric scholars, obviously. That's why it's here, right? In the scholars' pavilion / tent. What would they make of this? Why have they, it seems to be an object of not only study, but also of reverence, right? The candles seem oriented so as to enable you to see it under the most even light possible. By candlelight, even by daylight, the candles are lit, right? So that it isn't in the shadow. So obviously you're meant to come and look at it, but what do they make of it? The prominence of the horseback figure is obviously a big deal, right? Now I agree within the context, right, within the Middle-earth context, Orome and Nahar seem to be the likeliest. I mean, if these are gods, but are they gods? Could they just be heroes? And I still just can't make anything out of those figures underneath the horse. I mean, it could just be a vague reference to riding over your foes. It doesn't necessarily have to be a woman and child. We don't, I don't think we have any positive evidence of any kind of reverence that the Rohirrim paid to Orome. I might be forgetting, but I don't. Maybe there's something buried in the appendices that I'm forgetting. But I don't recall anything like that. But, I mean, at the same time, it would certainly not be surprising. I mean, the Rohirrim, right? Could you imagine them not reverencing Orome in particular? Not to mention, of course, that there are going to be many very ancient legends of Orome because he's the one who visited Middle-earth most often, right? So, you know, the great rider or the great hunter on his great steed would be part of the, yeah, they do have a name for him, Gnagaruina, that's true. It's kind of thin, but maybe it does suggest, I mean, it doesn't mean they don't have names for the rest of them too. But does that mean they hold them in special reverence? Maybe. Anyway, you got to think that that's how they interpret this. Well, okay, I say you've got to. It's got to be one of two things, right? It's got to be either that or some hero of old, right? Probably they would suspect that this predates Eorl the Young, even though we are in the Great River, right? So, you know, in like the land of the great exploit of Eorl the Young. But nevertheless, I've got to think that they would know that this is almost certain. This almost certainly predates that. So, do they think this to be a great hero of their fathers? Would they? The shrine-ish nature of it suggests that maybe they do see it as a kind of a holy artifact. So maybe they do think that this is Bema, Orome. The sort of knotwork on the side does suggest that, just suggest a relationship, right? I mean, look at the banner or the ribbon or the bunting or whatever this is, right, wrapped around the poles. Obviously more ornate, obviously sort of more stylized, but similar. Again, look at the scroll work here on the beam itself, right? Both of them very similar in style, especially to, well, I was going to say especially to the bit around the top, but really to the whole thing. So you can see the connection. I really wonder where they got it, but I suppose there's nobody I can ask, is there? Huh. Interesting. Wow, that was cool. I don't think I ever noticed that thing before. Really glad I came down to the crafting area here, which, you know, normally not a great... I mean, it was a functional destination and everything, but totally not where Horn is. So I'm carrying this sword, meanwhile. Gryfflet's arms and shoulders are really barking by this time, so let's... There he is. Hi there, Horn. Hang on, the Horn. Nice meat haul, right? This is really lovely. The crossed spears, huh? No. No other apart from the omnipresent horses. No other marking on the wood carving. Right, some just sort of decorative carvings above and flanking the doors on these central pillars. What's that behind the banner? A horse's head? Okay, right. So just the cross spears, but that in a fabric banner, not carved into the wood anywhere. Okay. But oh man, the beams are gorgeous. Wow. And that stripy business, the green stripes, is that canvas? Or is it painted on wood? I wonder. Maybe I'll get to see that more closely someday. Look at the windows. Yeah. These are some serious defensive windows. Right? These are windows designed to keep arrows out of the house. Hi, are you Horn? You're carrying a horn. Horn. You wearing spurs? Yes, you are. Huh. Not really pointy, though. So not cruel spurs. Okay. I like your jaunty, sort of over one shoulder cape there, Horn. That's kind of fetching. I really like your horse brooch too. Not to mention your sort of sultry, my goatee is much darker than my hair look that you've got going on there. Sort of rakishly stubbly cheeks. Okay. Now, Horn, of course, is the first in what I am sure will be a long line of sad meetings. This is when knowing the text really well interferes with your reactions to folks, because I immediately recognize his name from a sad place, right? I was gonna do a spoiler alert, but it's not even if you read the book, you know, right? I mean, that's one of the interesting things about Lotro storylines, right? Is that so many of them are already spoiled by the game, which is great because it provides for a really interesting diversity of storylines within the plot, right? There are some stories which rely on surprising plot twists, like the Amarthiel storyline in Volume 1, right? Watching that develop, as Gryfflet did, there are lots of sort of new twists and angles and things that maybe perhaps you anticipated, but it's a surprising and unfolding storyline. But of course, there are many other places where the chief element of your own emotional reaction to something comes from the fact that it's going to happen, right? And here I'm thinking, of course, especially of the story of Theodred, from our first encounter with Theodred down to when he falls at the fords. We know what's going to happen, right? I mean, anyone who has read The Lord of the Rings with any care remembers that Theodred dies before the companions ever get to, before the Fellowship ever gets to Rohan. So we know Theodred is doomed from when we first meet him, and that knowledge looms over that whole storyline and informs and really enriches our every interaction with Theodred all the way through. And then there's Horn here, right? Horn is in the song. Of course, I recognize his name, and and throughout, as I go through Rohan, I'm going to be having this experience I know many times, right, where you meet a character for the first time, and I already know that he's going to die and where he's going to die, right? And this is, of course, from the poem of lament, for those who died in the Battle of Pelennor Field. Yeah, and Horn is one of those. Horn is on the list, so we know he's gonna. On the one hand, I know he's gonna be at the Battle of Pelennor Field. He's gonna live until then, but he's gonna die at the Battle of Pelennor Field. That I know. And yeah, JJ, oh, you're right. I mean, Halbaret, right, is another one. Halbaret is also in the song, right? We know that Halbaret dies in the Battle of Pelennor Field, and think of how long we interact, through the entirety of what's it been? Volume 3? Is that what we're in now, right? Not to mention all the time through the beginning. I mean, Halbaret has been a major character for quite a long time, and we get to know him, knowing where his destiny is going to be. So I think that's great. I really like the way that comes across. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Yeah, good. Cool.
Welcome to Stangard, such as it is. What is this sword you bear?
Okay, what is the sword I bear? Hey, don't touch it, man. Yeah, you can't. Look, I have strict instructions. I tell him briefly of Nona, Wadu, and the sword. Oh wait, I'd really love to do that synopsis, right? So I met a friendly Dunlending dude who was working with the Rangers. Didn't know too much about him, but he seemed like a friendly guy, and then he got killed, right? And then his sister was really upset because, you see, he'd been dissed by everybody else and they thought he was a loser, but it turns out he killed this huge dragon or something, and that was really impressive. So in the end, she really liked him and wanted to uphold his name, and he had this sword, and I have no idea where he got it, but it was his sword, and so it's kind of a mystery, and there it is. And she's real nice, and she's outside, and they were calling her a witch, and that wasn't very nice. Okay, so there we go. I see, he says. Great. This is a Rohirric sword, but it is old. Okay, it strikes a memory in me, but I cannot place it. I wonder if it was fashioned before Aerol the Young came out of the Northlands. Like, in the Northlands? Huh. So where would Badu have gotten it? I want to show you something. Return this curious weapon to your friend at the gate with my regards and tell her she is welcome to enter the village. I do not think either of you are our foes. Then meet me outside the town by the Kuthstan. It is a large statue of two figures located among the Wailing Hills west of Stangard, and I think you should see it. Oh, I think so too. Absolutely. Okay, I'll talk to Nana Horn, and we'll meet you at the Kuthstan, and that'll be, oh, hi! That's somebody having probably a more efficient conversation with Horn than I am. Okay. All right. Nana should have been invited to Bingo's party. But she wasn't part of the Bingo Baggins quest. Okay. How much time I got? Still got a little bit of time. All right. I thought this guy was leading the horse. Why do we have both the horsemen? Hi, guys. What? Oh, you're going different ways. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So I thought you were just walking together, doing your rounds, keeping each other company, one on horseback, one on foot. Seemed a little bit weird. Hi, Afik. So, are you going to be polite?
Horn said she could enter? He is soft.
No, you're just going to be rude to Horn, too. Okay, fine. Hey, Nana.
I have permission to enter?
Well, yeah.
I will remain outside.
Well, look, I understand that they're dissing you and stuff, and that's not very nice. But at the same time, you have to understand you're a Dunlending who are kind of at war with them, and, they don't know you. So, of course you need their permission to enter. Let's not be unreasonable about this, Nana. This village smells too much of horse and false dealing for me. Ooh, ouch. Too much of horse. Okay. Oh, yeah, no problem. Of course you can
You meet
trust
this
me.
man Horn at the Kuthstan. I will search elsewhere.
Oh, you're not going to come, huh? no interest in this town. They're the same as their brethren elsewhere and have nothing helpful to tell us. I will seek the meaning of your dream in the wild. Okay. That's a method. You're not going to meet Horn? He seemed charming. Yeah, in the Wailing Hills. Okay. Horn may seem to be a friend, but his people are treacherous. Really? That is surprising. Look at her just riding on that deer, like it's not even a problem. I'd be a little worried myself. Hey there, okay, so...
What brings you to these lands?
A hobbit calling at our gates. How do you even know that I'm a hobbit? I'm surprised you're using that word. One of the Holbitlan?
Will you aid the Rohirrim?
I do not look evil. Well, thank you. We'll see if I can say the same. Not really sure. Let's see. Do you look evil? No, evil doesn't usually wear purple. You look a little snooty. A little... I don't know, you have kind of a sneering face, I gotta say. But you're wearing purple, which really is rather becoming, actually, with the chainmail. I like the chainmail and purple look. And can I just look for a second at the head of your spear? Let's see if that's not a forward question. Okay. Yeah. Interesting carvings there. Nothing horsey. I was kind of expecting something horsey, like on your helm there, for instance, right? You've got a little horse head peeking out above you there, which is kind of nice. And your boots are... Okay, you don't look evil either. You're wearing purple. Sorry. Okay, what were we doing? In Rohan, guests to our homes must share our bread with us, but I'm afraid I have no bread to share. A little awkward to bring it up then. Kunred is the keeper of the food stores, and the food is well guarded. Go speak to Kunred, and he will honor the Rohirrim laws of hospitality. Okay. Hi, I'm supposed to come to you and get bread? Alright, so, Nana, you go hang out, you find the dream in the wilderness, we'll see. Hi! Hey, people are cheering in Stangard, that's nice. Ooh, it's the healing tents. Oh, hurt your knee? Unhappy triad? That's going around. Oh, shh, guy's sleeping over there on the little bunk beds. Let's not disturb him. Is this... Oh, I can't get into the tent? Oh, well. Okay. We're looking around here. What do we have here? What's that? Is that a dog? Is it a little kennel? Yeah. Oh, aren't you a big dog? Yeah. Okay. Whoa. What is this? Are those like braziers? Are those coals? Is it a heat source? A light source? What is that? Huh. Not quite sure. Shields on the walls. Another little fetching little window box with flowers. Hey there, Atholf. I don't know what you're doing, man. Here's the provisioner, but you are not the provisioner I'm looking for, apparently. Oh, crude patch in the ceiling. When you couldn't get more thatch? This is thatch, isn't it? It looks like thatch. Thatch bordered with some more of those very attractively carved beams. Okay, let's see. Very large logs. Oh, see, look, here's one that's actually burning. Yeah, I'm thinking that's a heat source. Is it cold? Do we need a heat source? Out in the open air? Oh, beautiful trees. Ah, the training ground, okay. Training dummies, taking a pounding as always. Let's see, who's this guy? Oh. Yeah. I like the blue. Yeah, you keep an eye on them. I like the blue. Oh, and your kneecap protectors are really nice. Excellent cape. Yeah. That's very good. Okay, oh, not the crafting area. You're just doing some work for the... Oh, a woodcutter. Wada the woodcutter, not to be confronted with Wadu the dead. And a fountain, yes. Okay. Oh, oh, wow. The guard just rode over top of me. That was awkward. Okay. Hey, Coonred. The Lockhouse Guard. I think... I'm fearing I come bearing like a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern message. Seriously? The prison warden is supposed to show me hospitality? I have a
What
bad
brings
feeling
you
about
to these
this.
lands?
Stanric or Sithric sent me? I cannot give out rations without the permission of the council. The laws here are higher now than the old laws of hospitality. So Saber, the French guy at the gate, says we should follow the old laws of hospitality. So he's probably a good guy, therefore. You should speak with our leader. Leaders, I should say. They are in the mead hall. Huh. Unable to say whether food should be shared with me, but at least he didn't incarcerate me. Let's look at the bright side here. Okay. All right. Let's go up to the meat hall then. Still got some time? Still got some time. Okay. All right. I'm going to go into the meat hall. I think I have just enough time to go into the meat hall. Let's see if I get into the meat hall. Oh, hang on. I should probably milestone here. Yeah. Okay. There's a bunch of fellas up here. Are those louvers? They are! Oh, look at that. And they have a grating over top of them. How cunning. Oh, yes. Probably louvers up there, aren't there? I gotta... Are there louvers in the roof of the meat hall? I'm just asking for professional
What business have you
reasons.
with the Rohirrim?
Your captain, Stanric, can be found within. If it is hospitality you seek, Stanric will provide it. I don't want to inconvenience anybody. Our true leader. Oh, okay. I will hear Sithric as well. These are troubled times. Oh, dear. Okay. So Stanric is your true leader. Okay. Ooh. Banners. Tapestries. I love the red. Oh, yeah. This red painted wood borders. Really striking. Yeah, that's great. Look at this hospitality. Looking at the inside of some of these curtains. Well, obviously they weren't designed for hobbits. I think these are holes just to look out of, right? I mean, if I were human, I'd be able to look out them. Obviously, they're not proportioned for hobbits, and that's fine. Lots of barrels for ale and mead. That's good. That's good. What do we have back here? We've got 2 seats. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. A nice... Oh, excellent. Look at all the antlers. They were probably attacked by many deer as well. Oh, this is great. The envoy of the king and the commander, huh? I love the antler thing there. Okay, so the crossed spears must be... Whoa, look at the shadow of the person pacing around up there. That's kind of awesome. The crossed spears must be the symbol of Stangard specifically, as I don't see any other markings that are sort of characteristic. Ooh, can I go up there? What's up here? Yes, I can. Sweet. Okay, walk away with more of these wooden shutters. No lookout holes, though they obviously open. Yeah. Can I go up the ladder? Where's the ladder go? Huh. Up to that ledge? Oh, up here by the horses. Look at that. Hey, guys. So what, you guard from up here? So you've got guards with bows pacing around so they can what? Quell disturbances? If somebody breaks into the mead hall, you can defend it from above? Kind of like that. It's very thoughtful. Okay. All right. Stanric, let's talk about it.
Will you aid the horse lords?
You are the captain of this post here in Stangard. Rather, I was the captain. It's complicated now. Okay. Nevertheless, I am welcome to break bread with us as guest. Great. Uh-oh. Sithric has something to say about that.
What brings you to these lands?
He knows full well we have barely enough bread to share among his own men. I'll have to earn my bread. Huh. Interesting.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Sithric has been sent by Theoden King and is an advisor of Edoras. I have no power over him, and obviously can't have him put to death. And he asserts his will in all that goes on here. I am sorry we cannot welcome you more warmly according to our traditions, but if you wish to do my men a kindness, you may help them with their duties. That sounds like fun. Okay, yep, Gata did seem to be very faithful to you, so that's fine. I will. I'll go talk to Gata. All right.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Okay. Stanric sent you to see me, yes. Oh, that's part of it. Like, okay. You won't say anything about it. All right. You have plenty of ideas as to how I can help in Stangard. Let's begin with delivering rations, performing the watch, and dealing with some of the petty crime. Ooh, I'm good at that. These are much higher level jobs than like the Dúnedain gave me, right? The Rangers just had me doing paralegal stuff, but please go and help the men with their duties. Sure. That sounds great. What can I do?
Our success depends upon our strength. Will you aid us?
Brought the men their daily rations. Okay. Bring the men their daily rations. What else can I do? Broken laws.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Someone took your rations while you were catching a little rest. Find out who stole from the stores. Solving crimes. That's great. I can do that. Oh, hang on. It's over here. Let's stand right now. Hang on. Someone else over here I'm supposed to talk to? No, that's just where I'm supposed to go to look for stuff. Okay. All right. It is just about time for me to go. Before I go, and I never got to answering my lore questions, which I know I was totally distracted by going into a new city for the first time. I will try to be more focused on answering lore questions next week. One quick thing that I did want to announce before I left. So I'm going to be making an appearance, for those of you on Landreval, I'm going to be making an appearance at the Lonely Mountain Band's Ales and Tales this coming week. So I haven't been to Ales and Tales for a while. It's been like more than a year since I've been to Ales and Tales. So I'm going to do that. Going to be talking and answering questions and stuff Monday night. So it's Monday night at 8:30. Druid's Fire, help me remember what time it is. I don't remember what time it is, but I'll totally know what time it is before I get there. It's just not Monday right now. So, but anyway, Ales and Tales in the Lore Hall in Bree on Monday night, 9:30. That's okay. 9:30. At 9:30 or so Eastern time, we'll be doing Ales and Tales. So that'll be really great. Excellent. Yeah, Phil, the first time you ever saw me was in a recording of Ales and Tales. Yeah, that seems very likely. No, it's not a very UK friendly time, Phil. I know. But cool. All right, so that's about when we're going to be next week. Thanks for joining me this week. I will be here again next week. Now, other thing that I wanted to put you in mind of course, we are coming close to Bilbo's birthday, and in the Mythgard Institute and Signum University world, that also means it is almost time to begin our fall fundraising campaign, which means we're going to have some special events, including my annual fundraising marathon, where I'm going to do, and I haven't decided yet exactly. I'm still looking for ideas. My temptation is to try to get Wiggend all the way to Minas Tirith, which would be a challenge. But he's still, poor Wiggend is still right where I left him in last year's marathon. It's been a very busy year without too much time for playing poor Wiggend. But yeah, Wiggend is owed time, definitely. But yeah, so Wiggend is ready to enter the Paths of the Dead. So I'm thinking if I can try to cruise Wiggend across the epic quest line all the way up to Minas Tirith, that would be pretty awesome. So that's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, I will definitely have more announcements next week as we begin to get closer and closer to the time. Just want to let you know that that's coming. So the season of the Signum University fundraiser is coming very soon with not only my Big Lotro stream, which I will do, I'm not sure which day, one of the Saturdays there, but it will also be doing some Lotro stuff during the end of fundraiser webathon and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be lots of things going on. So anyway, thanks for go through Mordor. Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I don't have any idea. Now, I know, like, I've done marathons that have been not reasonable before, but I have no idea how much gameplay I would be putting myself in for if I tried to get to, like, the Battle of Pelennor Field or something. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks, everybody. I will see you guys next week. Stay tuned for Druid's Fire's stream next. And I will see you guys again next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.